Hey everyone, my name's James and I'm back with a brand new episode of Music Biz. Regular viewers of Music Biz know that we spend a lot of time talking about marketing tips and tricks for success. Recently, I've become aware of several trends in the industry that are hurting artists more than they're helping them, and I want to address 3 of those today. First and foremost, I see far too many artists failing to utilize their cover photos to convey important information. By this, I mean the images at the top of your Facebook and Twitter page specifically, but it applies to all social media platforms that have this kind of offering. Cover images are a great way to convey the most important, latest information related to your music. If that's tour dates or future tour dates, that should be the first thing people see when they come to your page because that's what's going to get them to come out to a show. If I'm a new fan or even a longtime fan who's curious about your latest efforts, the last thing I want to do is to scroll through all of your social media posts looking for that information. But if it's the first thing I see when I arrive at the page, I'm far more likely to be converted to taking action. The same thing goes for new music. If you're not on tour but you have a new video or a new single or even a new album, that should be what your cover image is conveying to me. While a well-designed page that has an aesthetically pleasing cover photo can be nice, and the same thing goes for cover photos that have a great image of the band, if you're not conveying information, then you're wasting that space when you should be utilizing it to help yourself get ahead. Speaking of life on the road, I see a lot of artists who fail to capitalize on the content opportunities presented by life on the road. Obviously, being on the road can be a grueling experience. It's a grind that basically never ends once you start a career, but your fans want to know about it. The allure of rock and roll is in the fact that you get to get into a van or onto a bus and travel the world with your closest friends. So why wouldn't you want to bring your fans into that world? Show them what it's like, the good and the bad. If you're in Fargo, North Dakota tomorrow, you should be posting about that show today. You should be posting about it the day of, and the day after you should be sharing photos and videos from the event. On Instagram, you should be reposting the stories from your fans who came to the show. Bring people into the experience. Let people see what they're missing out on in order to encourage them to come to future shows. Being on the road is going to make up the bulk of your time in the music business. So capitalize on that by creating as much content as possible to share both during the tour and when the tour ends to keep people engaged in everything you're doing between releases. Lastly, and this is more of a suggestion than it is a criticism, I think more musicians should be starting podcasts. Now, I know that may seem counterintuitive. After all, you're in the business of writing and releasing music, which you need people to stream in order to make a living. By creating a podcast, you could argue that you're distracting people from the music, but let me make my case. There are millions of people who listen to podcasts, and when they do, they feel this close connection to the hosts because they're in their ears having a conversation, and they can kind of feel like a fly on the wall enjoying the company of these people that they don't actually know. As a musician, your job in 2019 and beyond is going to be all about engagement. You need to connect with your current listeners as well as people who don't listen to your music yet and make them take a very personal, invested interest in who you are and what you're trying to accomplish. While journalism can certainly help tell your story, as can a publicist, as can a label and a big marketing budget, no one can tell your story better than you. So why wouldn't you start a podcast and share your story? Not only where you come from, but where you're going and what you're doing now. Share a podcast based on your interests. Get people to take an interest in who you are beyond simply a person who writes songs that they create, and they will become fans for life. They will feel as if they're a part of your journey more than they can through simply listening to your music. And podcasts cost basically nothing to start. There are multiple services right now that you can sign up for where you can record your music and distribute it to all the major platforms without spending a penny. So even just attempting this is going to cost you nothing and you can get a ton of benefit. So get out there and start a podcast. Now, truth be told, we'll probably cover these topics and much more in future marketing videos, but I hope that this helped you, and if you did find something in it that you liked, then take a second and click the subscribe button down below. We create a ton of content here at Music Biz, including 3 to 5 videos every single week all about the industry of music. So please take a moment and click that button. If you do that, or if you don't do that, maybe I can convince you to check out our sponsor. Holics.com is how people promote music online. Everyone from Slipknot to Killswitch Engage, Blink-182, Fall Out Boy, and even Mariah Carey promote their music through Holics, and you can too by starting a free trial today. Just visit Holics.com. That's Haulix.com. There's a link in the description below. And if you do that, or if you don't do that, at the very, very least, take care of yourself because you deserve it.